Okay, hello everyone. This is the Venus team for IT Learn QA project. This is our final presentation. We initially did a mock-up last week, and this is going to be our final presentation. And the order of our presentation is going to be as follows. So we're going to start with FRS, then use case document, test plan and effort estimation, and after that we're going to cover the test scenario and the test case document for each of the three modules that we tested on: non-members, user registration and members area, and GUI, and finally the RTM and the defect summary report. A couple of our team members could not make it today, so the existing team members are going to speak on their behalf. So right now I'm going to get started with the FRS document. So this is our functional requirement specification document, which we prepared in the initial first 2 weeks of the project. And here it shows this particular table shows the revision history and the approval log for the FRS. Just a small comment here: even though we did multiple versions of this document, we just kept the same number just to avoid any confusion. But we did modify the FRS document accordingly as and when the changes were needed. And here is the table of the contents for this document. So this FRS document mainly has 5 different sections, starting with introduction. Then we move on to functional requirements, GUI requirements, other requirements, and appendix. So in the introduction part of the FRS document, the aspects that are covered are basically just about the IT eLearn website, which is our main focus of the project. So the IT eLearn website is an educational website which offers different kinds of trainings, from manual testing to QTP to mobile testing. The main purpose of this FRS document, the functional requirement document, as the name says, is to actually define in a very clear sense of what functionality do we expect out of the test website. So how did we actually develop this FRS? Usually the FRS is developed based on the business requirement specification and the system requirement specification document. But for this project, we didn't have any soft version of either of the documents. The functional specifications were laid out by Karthik in one of the earlier meetings. So based on that, we got a template, and hence we developed this document. And in the scope part of this document, it shows what exactly are we going to cover and what is out of our scope. So the functionality of this IT eLearn website has been split into 4 different modules: non-members or the guest area, user registration or the new member registration, e-commerce section, and members area. And with respect to our current project, only the e-commerce aspect was out of scope. And here, this paragraph tells you a little bit about the background of the IT eLearn website, where a guest can visit through the free YouTube videos which are available on the IT eLearn channel that Karthik has posted. And from there, he is directed to the IT eLearn website. And once the guest or the non-member comes to the IT eLearn website, he or she can choose to become a member by going through a registration process. Like I mentioned earlier, the references for these documents were the business requirement documents and the system requirement specification which were verbally provided by Karthik. So what are the main assumptions and the constraints that we're going to assume with respect to this FRS document? The first and foremost assumption is that the users who are going to visit the application are well versed of how to use the application, in the sense where to move the mouse, what exactly they are looking for, what kind of training they want to access. And the second assumption is that the content of the website, the IT Learn website, is compatible with the PC environment and the Mac environment. And one of the major constraints that we can assume with respect to the project is basically the release date. But for us, the release date didn't actually come into the picture because the test website was already set up by Karthik. So the main methodology that we employed for this project is agile methodology, going with the current standards of the testing aspect. So below is a context diagram which shows what all a user can do when he or she visits the IT Learn website. So the user can be categorized into a non-member guest area who is going to just simply look at the free videos and be happy and just is pretty much happy doing that, or he or she can go through the next step of registration and then becoming a member. And all the things that are done by these non-members and the members is the information is stored in the database, or both of them, the guest and the member, can also choose to exit the website. So what are the basic user requirements for the IT Learn website? So like I mentioned earlier, the application should be compatible in PC and Mac environments, hence the different browsers that are available on PC and Mac, like Firefox, Safari, Chrome, and IE. And the videos are recorded and hosted through a source. And the non-members or the guests have only access to the free content, and once they pass through the user registration phase, then they become the members, and then they have far more access to the application and the course that they have chosen. And some of these user requirements were actually written based on the functionality of the existing IT Learn website, not the test website that Karthik has provided. So not all the user requirements that you see here are actually present in the test website that Karthik has provided. Then further, here you can see clearly the functional requirements that we are looking for this website. One is the non-members module, second is the user registration module, third is the e-commerce module, and fourth is the members area module. And like I said earlier, what the non-members can do, it's written with respect to the modules. So even from the initial stages, we conveniently divided our project based on these 4 modules: the non-member module, user registration module, e-commerce module, which is out of scope, and members module. And here is a typical data flow diagram that are usually seen in the FRS documents. And this data flow diagram is specific only for the members area. So a data flow diagram is a simplified version of the functional requirements for that particular module shown in a diagrammatic way. So like a case in point here. So what a member can do. So a member can log in, can access the content he paid for, and can access to the technical support, and after that he can log out. But all the activities of the member are essentially monitored by the administrator. So it's the administrator who decides whether the member can be active on the particular application or not. So the member can also access the free content that are available on the other courses. And here in the picture is the support staff, which has access to the entire content of the application. And it is the support staff who actually helps the member if he or she runs into any problem. So this functional requirements module that we saw on the earlier pages, so were broken down into each requirement and based on the module. So for example, here we are looking at the non-members module, and the naming convention we followed was NM, that is for non-members underscore Venus underscore 1.0. So that is our first requirement in the non-members module. And the requirement you can see is when a user enters IT eLearn website, he or she should be able to open the home page. So in these tables, we have written each and every functional requirement that you can expect out of that particular module. As I said earlier, these functional requirements were written down based on the existing IT eLearn website, not the test website that Karthik has provided for. So you may come across some functional requirements that are not actually present in the test website. And based on these functional requirements, the use cases were developed. So as you can see, we have 12 requirements in the user registration, and the members module has 14 requirements. And next aspect was the GUI requirements, and the GUI requirements was split into colors, content, graphics, instructions, navigation, and usability. And the naming convention we followed for that is UI underscore Venus underscore the number for the functional requirement. So coming to the fourth section of this document, what are the other requirements that you have to consider besides the major part of the document, the functional requirements? So interface requirements. So what does they include? They basically are about the video tutorials which we are able to click and play with respect to the free content or the paid content. Then the communication interfaces. System will work on the local area network, internet, or wireless network. Then we have the hardware and the software requirements. As we mentioned earlier, the system should support all PC compatible and Mac compatible. Hence it will support both the Windows environment and the Mac environment. Coming to the crucial part of it, security and privacy. So what happens in case of say security of the members is breached, like for example somebody is able to access their email and password content or something. So for that we have some corruption. So for that we have to consider a few requirements too. For example, in order to minimize the effects, the following action are to be taken into consideration: physical security and access by user role or types. Next comes reliability. In the sense, how reliable is our system? So, and what happens in case the system actually fails? There should be a complete or partial loss of ability to perform any functions or loss of revenue. A recoverability. So how fast are you able to recover the content of the application in case something happens, like a power loss or sudden shutdown of the internet. Then system availability, in the sense that the application is not available on one particular time zone, but it's available all through all the time zones. And we have some general performance issues, which says that which we are assuming that the system responds within 5 seconds for any queries or updates, and the number of transactions should be 25 per second. An expected rate of user is 500 per day. This is what we are assuming, that 500 guests or non-members will visit IT eLearn per day. Then comes error handling. So in case of it's very similar to the earlier part of security breach. So what happens if the system gets disconnected just accidentally? Then how soon the user is able to log in and see the content he or she has paid for. And finally, the appendix, it just has a couple of abbreviations. One is for the FRS and another is for the UI. So this concludes my presentation of the functional requirement specification document which was developed by our team. Next, one of my team members, Vinny, he is going to present the use case document.
Hi everyone, this is Vinny representing Team Venus. I am presenting to you the use case documents and diagrams done by the Venus team as part of our IT-ELN project. The use case documents and diagrams are prepared by business analysts. They are prepared from the functional requirement specification or FRS. It is a high-level focus of interaction between the user and the system. Here the users are non-members and members, and the system is IT-ELN website. Use cases give the entire workflow of the system from the start to the finish. They break down the entire system into manageable workflow. They help in reducing duplication and even eliminate duplication in the initial stage itself. So we don't have to worry about any duplication coming in the final stages or in between. Use cases and diagrams are used for effective knowledge transfer from the subject knowledge experts to the stakeholders, and especially the developers. Developers get a good picture of the system they are about to develop. In Team Venus, in this IT-ELN project, we had 3 different modules to be tested, and they were guest or non-member, user registration, and member. Team Venus developed 8 use cases for the guest or non-member area, 6 use cases for user registration, and 15 use cases for the members section. Altogether, for the 3 modules, Team Venus developed 29 use cases and 3 diagrams. Let me go through this use cases and diagrams to show you how we did it. On the first page, as you can see, is the name of the use case document and the diagram. And the second page contains the authors, the version number, and the team lead, Manoj Yadav, who led us through this project. And let me take you to the use case, how a use case looks like. Use case document looks. It starts with the use case ID. As you can see, it says UC underscore IT-ELN underscore non-members underscore 4. And we are given a use case name. Here it says guest access to members area. Then a brief description of what the use case is about. A guest or non-member visits the IT-ELN website and clicks on members access only video. Then we have listed the actors involved in this use case. Here it's just the guest, and we can say the system involved here is the IT-ELN website, and we are given the FRS reference number. That's FRS underscore IT-ELN underscore Venus underscore 1.0. And we are given the basic flow after that. The basic flow shows the where the system goes from point A to point B. Here the flow is guest visiting IT11 website. I guess clicks on the members only access video, but he can't get in, so he exits the website. Alternate flow is guest visit IT11 website, guest clicks on members only video. He gets the access. Actually, he shouldn't get the access if he's just a guest. So that's an IT flow. And guest exits website. So the alternate flow can be either the positive flow as well as negative flow. In negative flow means you won't be able to get the positive result. Then we are given the non-functional requirements. What's the basic requirements? Like computer should have internet connection, and the website should be available, and all the stuff. Preconditions are the conditions which should be satisfied for that use case to work. And post conditions are the conditions reached once that steps are finished. And let me take you to one of the use case diagrams now. This is the use case for the guest visiting the IT11 website. We got access to free videos. We can view the contents of paid videos and the courses offered by the website. We can view the forums. We can post on the forums, but we can just view what's the contents of the forum as well as access the quiz, and we can exit the website. Let me show the diagram for the members area. This is the use case diagram for the members area, where admin is the super user. He takes care of all the members' activities and checks what all goes to who all goes to the website, and what they can do on the website. Here the member can log in and access the videos as well as attend live session. Member can log out from after he finishes his or her session. When the member logs in, and if the login page, if he or she doesn't give her proper credentials, the login will fail. And there's no valid email or password, you can't log into the system. A member can chat with a live representative and get technical support from the technical staff. Let me show you the user registration use case diagram. This is the guest visiting and registers with his or her username, first name, last name, email, and password, and submitting their information, where admin validates the data, and this his or her data is saved in the database, and admin validates this data. Once it's validated, an email is sent to the guest, and he or she becomes a member. If the data is invalid, an error message is popped up on the screen. And this is the use case documents and the diagram we as Team Venus developed. In concluding, I would like to say this, that use case documents are a very important part of the testing, and these documents and the diagrams allow you to go to the next step of developing test scenarios as well as test cases. Thank you everyone, and now Team Venus member Natural will present you with test plan and effort estimation. Thank you all.
Good evening. This is Netra Shivakumar. I'm going to present test plan and test effort estimation on behalf of Venus team. You already know that test life cycle is a very important process in testing, and it is basically includes planning, writing, executing, and reporting and maintaining the test activities. And this test plan that I'm presenting is basically a reference document for all our test activities. So now I will walk through the document. Very first information you are going to see is the document name and also the date when we created. And followed by the version number it includes. And in this table, it shows you the Venus, the author of this document, who is a Venus team, and also the QA lead, who is a Manoj Adav. He played a very important role in our team because he provided all the guidelines that we needed to develop this project. And the next page, you see the table of content. In our test plan, we have several topics under this table of content. I'm going to go through all of these topics one by one. To start with, objective. So the objective of this test plan is to explain how we are going to conduct the test on the IT eLearn application. And test ID for is in a TP_IT eLearn Venus version 1. And functional requirement specification, which is FRS version 1, is a reference document for this test plan. And for our test activities on the IT eLearner, we do have 3 modules, which is a non-members, users registration module, members module. These are in scope. So these modules will be tested extensively. And there are other 2 modules. Which are e-commerce and also the forum. These 2 modules are out of scope. We also consider 2 different levels of testing. One is in a first level is in a functional testing, and second level is an integrated testing. In functional testing is also called black box testing. We kind of check each module whether they are working as specified in the FRS. And after functional testing is done, then all modules will be integrated, and again it will go through the integrated testings just to make sure each modules are working with each other in a proper way. And our team decided to use 3 different tools, which is in a Microsoft Excel, Word, and also Jira. Excel is used to write the test cases, whereas test plan, use case, and test scenario documents are created in the Microsoft Word. And Jira is a tool, and we will be using it for the defect tracking purpose. And this application will be tested on both Windows as well as a Mac operating system. And definitely we will be testing this on 4 different browsers: Internet Explorer, Firefox, and Google Chrome and Safari. And in the beginning, we did come up with tentative schedule. We kind of allotted a certain number of days for each of the test activities, which is writing, execution, reporting, and testing, and also the contingent days. This is test case is, I think we gave 5 days, whereas the test execution is in a 2 days, and defect tracking and the retesting contingent days where we kept 2 days. So these dates might change according to the resources available and other uncertainties. And we also have a plan for test approach. One of the approach is in case any changes done to the modules, or if the development team makes any changes to the module, and again this module, our entire application will go through the regression testing, where this will be again just to make sure that whatever the changes they did not affect the other part of the application. So next section I'm going to talk about different criteria, such as entry criteria, exit criteria, suspension, and resumption criteria. And entry criteria basically what are the criteria we are going to look before we start the test activities. And one of those active criteria is every module must be unit tested before we start the testing, and every QA personnel should have enough knowledge about the application, and all the hardware, software we must have, it should be available. And test plans and test cases must be reviewed and signed off by all the QA manager and required people. And exit criteria. Exit criteria is basically when do we stop, at what point we are going to stop the test activities. So I think the condition should be the test cases. We should test all the execute all the test cases as per the test case document, and all the logs must be entered into the JIRA. And again, ICVRT should be fixed, and also all deliverables are ready to sign off by stakeholder. So these are the exit criteria to stop any of the test activities. And suspension, for we always, there will be some scenario that we may have to stop test activities, and we have kind of a noted, listed few couple of those criteria. Maybe hardware, software may not be there. Our build contains no serious, maybe it might contain some serious defects. Our assigned resources, maybe we may not have enough resources. So for these, it can be any criteria, but these are the few examples. So because of these, we may have to stop the testing. And once any testing activity is suspended, again, you have to get back to its. We have to resume it back. So the most important criteria is whatever the defect caused it to suspend, it must be fixed. So if any ICVRT test case is kind of a failed, and it has it is a high severity, so it must be fixed by the developer, and it should be checked by the test QA personnel to make sure to resume the test activities. And we have several responsive roles and responsibility in our team. Those are all project test lead, test manager, test designer, and approver and tester. So test lead is in a very important role. They will keep watching the quality of the software assurance, software quality assurance. And testing manager is also make sure that all the testing activities are conducted according to the test plan. And actually in our team, each of our team member took the responsibility of test manager, so that everyone get a chance to go through the roles of the testing manager. Test designer is the one who does create the test scenario, test cases, and also test data. Again, it will whatever the document test designer creates, such as a scenario, test cases, it will be reviewed by test approver just to validate all the information given in the test scenario, test cases. And tester job is just to make sure it's executing the test cases. So executing the test cases and reporting the result to the manager. And reviewer, again, the reviewer will review all the test results, and whatever the defect will be assigned to any particular developer or a DBA, database administrator, project manager, depending on the defect. And now I'm going to talk about the note under the test roles and responsibilities. Sometimes each team member can be can play the more than one role. The person can be the test manager, or a tester, or they can also be a test designer. One person can be the test designer as well as the reviewer. So they do. There will be chances one person can play the more than one role. And now I'm going to talk about risk and mitigation, which includes, see, sometimes we may have to, there will be some, we have listed a certain number of issues that might be caused. Those are maybe the risk. So if we know ahead of these problems, so maybe we can eliminate or mitigate the damage it caused. Maybe we may wrong time estimation, or we may not give the priority of for any conflicts. Maybe we must have a better communication. Sometimes no communication is also a problem. Or maybe we did not estimate the right budget. So, and sometimes down the road there will be a lot of rules changed by the government or the internet or World Wide Web. So we have to keep watching and try to see how we can mitigate these problems. And in our group there are three, we kind of split the group into three different groups, so that each one can be tested on these modules. Non-members guest, user registration, and members guest module. Test priorities, in the three modules we tested, we gave a user registration as a first priority, because IT e-learn must have a better user registration forum on their website. So kind of we gave this user registration. So through user registration, members can access several components on the IT e-learn. And again, during testing activities, there are several information will be collected and reported. And again, each tester will provide those information to their test lead. So their details are to the test manager. So we have to keep track of the details about each of the test cases executed, how much time it took, and how many test cases are passed, and also number of cases failed, and also the number of test cases that could be executed in future, like how many test cases you can execute in one day or next one day or something. So these are the data or the information we need to keep collecting and reporting to the test manager. And it's also very important to maintain the record. That means when did we, what is the date we executed the test cases, and also the person, the name of the person who executed, how much time they took, and also most important, the last one which I did not highlight, it is in case of test fail, it is very important to note on the as much detail as possible, so that when the whoever try to fix the problem, they can reproduce the defect. And the data must be all the data must be available at the central location, depending on the system you use. So it is so that it is available to every member in the team. And next one is a requirement traceability matrix, which it's basically this is a document, so which will provide you the how you can retrace the each of the requirement specified in the FRS. So this is kind of in the table format. On the row wise you have a number of requirements, and the column wise you have a document's name. So intersection of those will give you the reference for that particular requirement ID. So this is one of the document that our team, I think Niranjana, is going to present on the requirement traceability matrix. And project status report is also very important for the senior management. They will be looking for, so what did we do last week, and what are the what we are going to do in the next 2 weeks. So they would like to get the project status. So this is done on the weekly basis. So just to assess the progress, the project progress on the for the higher management. And we will be these are the deliverables we have planned to provide to the IT eLearn. Those are test plan, traceability, requirement traceability matrix, test cases, test data, and also the defect summary reports to the IT eLearn. So this will complete my presentation on the test plan. My second document will be the effort. It's a software test effort estimation. So on the screen you are seeing two tables. The number one table is a Venus team historical data used to test the effort estimation. So these are the historical data that we have collected for some time back, and we kind of we do have some data which shows you how much time it takes to execute the large, medium, small test cases, and within the test life cycle, what percentage of the time each activities will take, such as planning takes 10% of the entire test life cycle, execution it takes about 50%. So these are some historical data. So in our testing in this application, which is in IT eLearn, we categorized, our team categorized all the test cases to be a medium size, and we had about 203 test cases. So according to our historical data, kind of we estimated the time is 10 minutes per. So based on this, we kind of this is the known factor. This is very important. This is one of the data we collect during the testing activities. So based on this, we kind of find out how much time it took for execution, reporting, and maintaining. And since we also tested this application on the 4 different browser, the factor of the browser is 152 hours. So altogether we estimated, which is about 220 hours. So again for the cost per hour is $50. So approximately we estimated about 11,000, and about 1.5 person 1 month. But actually after I think we did estimated just before started the testing activities. After completing the test activities, our team went back and came up with the actual cost, how much it took. Unfortunately, our actual cost is way more than what we estimated. We really think that the historical data that we used is not a current data. Maybe it is it's been used for a long time. Maybe we are going to revisit this problem once again and see how we can improve our estimation. So in this actual cost is about, again, we two medium-sized test cases, 203, and our total number of hours we about 1,267, and the total cost is about 63K, and person per month is 7.5. So this completes my presentation on software test estimation. So thank you for providing the opportunity to present. And now my next team member, Deepika, will present the test case on non-members module, and test scenario and test case on non-members module. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Deepika. I'm part of Venus team. I'm going to present test scenarios and test cases for non-members for IT e-learning. In test scenarios, we have test case description, description of scenario, test scripts covers the steps for scenario, use case shows the use case number, test or requirement, all the requirements needed, like get Twitter and internet, guest knows URL for the home page, user group. We have 8 scenarios for the non-member. TS001 understands the naming convention we came up with for these scenarios. The first is IT event. And these are the test scripts we have come up with. In this scenario, non-member accesses few videos, which is not relevant at this time. Here, non-member tries to view the list of video tutorials. These are the scripts for this scenario. This scenario occurs when a guest tries to access the member area, and these are the scripts.
Yeah, excuse me, Deepika. The voice from your side is breaking. Deepika?
Yeah.
Yeah, the voice is breaking. Yeah, continue, Deepika now.
This scenario occurs when guest tries to access the quiz section. The following are the scripts that cover this scenario. Non-member tries to access the member-only forum, which is out of scope. In this 7th scenario, non-member gets emails from admin, and these are the scripts for the scenario. In this, non-member visits IT e-learn, plays around the website. These are all the possible scripts we came up with for this. Now I'm going to present test cases for non-members. This is the header section for the test cases for non-members. We have author, Team Venus, reviewed by Manoj Yadav. Browser, we tested this in Google Chrome. We also have color coding for executed pass. Purple is for out of scope or not relevant at this time. Red is executed and failed. These columns have test scenario number, test case ID, prerequisites, test case descriptions, test steps, test data, expected, actual, and result. This is the naming convention we have carried from test scenario. Under this, we came up with test case ID naming convention. We have 33 test case contents for non-members, 26 test cases which are executed and passed, which is in out of which 5 test cases were not relevant, which is in 2 test cases which are executed and failed, which is in red color. These test cases were tested in Google Chrome. Thank you. And my next presenter is Sumalata.
Hi everyone, this is Sumalata from Venus team, and today I am presenting the test scenario and test case document for user registration module. So this is the template we followed for the test scenario document. Like this is the naming convention for the test scenario, like TS001 underscore, and the module name. The present module is the user registration. So we have like scenario description where we describe how the scenario is going to work, and here in the test scripts we will describe all the different possibilities in which the scenario can be performed, and this is the use case. This we used as a reference for the scenario to be developed, and the test components and requirements. And here the test components are the guest has access to computer and internet, and guest knows the URL of IT eLearn homepage. And the last one is the user groups, and for this guest and non-members of IT eLearn are the user groups. And further, the user registration module has 6 test scenarios. So the first test scenario is the guest visits IT eLearn website to register. And this test scenario is like derived from the FRS IT eLearn underscore Venus underscore 1.0. This is the FRS number which we referred to use to develop this test scenario. And the test scripts, like for this test scenario, is just the guest visits IT eLearn web page by entering the URL. And the use case we used for this test scenario is UC underscore IT eLearn underscore user registration underscore 1. And the user groups and the test components and requirements are guest has access to computer and internet, and guest knows the URL of IT eLearn homepage. And the user groups are the guests or non-members of IT eLearn. In the similar way, the second scenario is the user registration. So here we describe like the test scripts covers all the possibilities, like how the user will register for the IT eLearn website by entering his information into the registration form provided on the web page. So, and the next scenario is the user data saved to the database. Like after completion of the registration, the user data is saved to the database, and then confirmation email is sent to the guest from the admin, and the data saved to database is out of scope. And the next scenario is the member enters e-commerce module. Like here we have mentioned like how after completion of registration, the user can purchase for a course through the e-commerce module, and this is also out of scope for us. And the email confirmation, like after completion of purchasing the course, the admin will send a confirmation email to the admin. And the last scenario is the user registration from pricing option. Here, this is an alternate way of registering for the IT eLearn website. Like we can go through the pricing option, and we can register from the pricing option, which is available on the home page. And so this is the user registration test scenario document, and now I will show the test case document for user registration. So this is the test case section for the user registration module. So this is the format we followed for the test case document. The header section, like the author, the team Venus, and the reviewed by Manoj Yadav, browser, Internet Explorer, and we have executed these test cases on 4 different browsers like Firefox, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, and the Safari. And the present document which I am showing is the test cases executed on Internet Explorer. So we have created this test case document on 3/16/2013, and we executed the test cases on 16 March, and we reviewed the test case document on 19th March. And we also came up with a color coding for our test cases. The green ones are the test cases which we executed with, and the result is pass. And the purple ones are the out of scope or not relevant, and the red ones are the executed but fail. So for the user registration module, we have created about 36 test cases, from out of which we have executed like 29 test cases, and the rest 7 are out of scope or not relevant. So this is the template we followed for the test, like this is the naming template we followed for the test cases: the test scenario number, the test case ID, prerequisites, test case description, test steps, test data, expected, actual, result, severity, and comments. And here, coming to the test cases, like this is the naming convention for our test case for user registration, like TC_F_UR, and followed by the number of the test case. And the first 2 test cases here are the out of scope test cases, which we wrote like assuming the registration form will be available on the home page. But after Karthik has mentioned that he came up with a different URL. So this is the test case this is our first test case, like the guest visits user registration URL, and he enters like this URL, and the home page, and the registration form will be available on the page. And this test case is passed. And next we came up with a positive test case, like we entered all the positive information in the registration form, and the result is pass. The user got registered, and we got an email from the admin. And from the next test cases, we have like about 15 test cases we wrote for negative testing, like to test whether the error messages are popping up for if we give any invalid data. And for example, here we have left the username without entering any name, like we kept that field as blank, and we got an error message, like error message displayed saying please enter the username. So this test case is also passed. In the similar way, we continued for the all the fields in the registration form. And also for this we have found about 4 major bugs, like when we are trying to enter the first name with numeric values, the registration form is not giving any error message, and it is accepting the first name and last name as the numerics, and it is completing the registration process. So we treated this test case as a fail, and the severity of this test case is high. So, and we have one more test case, like for the password taking the spaces in the field. Here it is like a compulsory. Karthik has mentioned that the password should not take any spaces as a password. So we entered in the password with some spaces, and we didn't get any error message, and it is the registration is completing. So this is also a very high severity test case which we found as a high defect. And next here from the test case number 21, we have written these test cases for the user data saved to the database. So these 21 and 23 are out of scope, that we cannot test the database. We cannot do that database testing, but we came up with this test case like the guest receives the email from the admin. So this is also a past test case. And from test case 24 to 36, we have written all the test cases, how the user registers from the pricing option. So these are the different test cases for the pricing option. So this is it for the user registration module, and as a conclusion, we written about 36 test cases, and we found 4 major bugs in the user registration module. And now Aparna will continue with the members module. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm going to present the test scenario for the members module and the test case document for the same. I'm actually presenting on behalf of one of our team members, Bhavna, who could not be here. She was there for the mock session, but today she could not make it due to some personal reasons. So I stepped in to do this. So right now you're looking at the test scenario document, and the module we are looking at is the members module. So what is a test scenario? What does a test scenario tell us? A test scenario tells us a general description of what's going to happen, not in a detailed step, but just the overall picture. So this is what our test scenarios look like. For example, here the first test scenario we're going to look is a member login, and this test scenario is developed based on the functional requirement specification that was mentioned in the FRS document. Hence you see the reference back to the FRS document here. Further, this test scenario is broken down into a series of test scripts. In the sense, these test scripts cover all the possible test cases that can possibly occur in this particular scenario of member login. And there is a reference to the use case and the test components and the requirements aspect, which, so for this the main requirement is of course it's a member who can do a member login. Hence he or she should have a valid membership which has not expired, should be knowing the URL to the IT eLearn website, and has a PC or a Mac with internet connection, and he or she is able to access the application. So the test scenarios in the members module, there are total of 15 test scenarios which cover from the aspect of member logging into the IT eLearn website to member logging out, and in between what all he can possibly do with the IT eLearn website. So like accessing the course content that he or she has paid for is the most critical aspect of the members module, besides the fact that what a member can do is can change the password. If the member has lost his password, can replace the lost password, And we have written a test scenario for suspended member in the sense that it's the suspension of a member is done by the admin who actually monitors the member activity. Was earlier shown in one of the data flow diagrams in the FRS. So this aspect was written based on the functionality. We assume that it's going to be in the application and which is not there. Hence it is out of scope for us. The next scenario is member logout. Next is coming up to membership level. So this membership level, if we had written initially based on the membership level that was offered by the original IT-Learn website, that is a premium member and a normal member. But here, I think we had like a 2-day member and a 30-day member. That was the test link that Karthik has provided us with. Then we have series scenarios like member downloading files. Member can change the profile by clicking onto the member change profile page, and and how a member becomes a non-member. This is based on the aspect that the membership has expired. Then the next scenario is premium member is able to attend live session. That is out of scope for us. As I mentioned earlier, there is no premium members in the current testing IT-Learn website. Member can chat with the tech support. Initially, there was a chat option with the live with any live representative on IT-Learn. That is why this test scenario was written. But down the road, we realized that that option was not there in the IT-Learn website. And the final scenario being member getting emails from admin. So besides getting the emails about the course that he or she has signed up with, admin can also send like a promotional mail about any other course or any other free content that he is offering. So this scenario covers that aspect. So next I'm going to move on to the test case documents for the members module. So just for our convenience, what we maintained, the team Venus has maintained actually 4 different sheets for each of the modules we tested, like non-members, user registration, and members. And in one Excel file, we maintained different sheets. The current sheet that I'm showing you right now was tested on the browser Safari. And as mentioned by my previous team member, and we have a color coding here to make the understanding of test cases easier, with green being executed passed, red being executed failed, and purple that are out of scope or not relevant to the current scenario. So from the 15 test scenarios, we actually came with 54 test cases for members module. So out of the 54 test cases, the pass test cases were 39, the fail test cases were 6, and the not relevant are 9. So looking at one of the failed test cases, for example, let's look at test case number 9, where it says a member is logging in with no username and no password. And it's generally expected that a message box should pop up saying that, you know, the fields are not populated or it's left empty. But the test IT-Learn website we tested, in this case we use the 2-day membership one. It does not give any such message. Hence this test case is a fail and the severity is pretty high. So one of the major aspects, in the sense, our team has 8 members, and this actually this accessing the video content was one of the aspects where some team members viewed this aspect differently from others. Like, see, so on Karthik's test website, there were a series of, he posted, for example, 6 videos were shown on the home page after a member logs in. So even though we log in with our member credentials, the member is not able to see the content that is mentioned for member only. So some team members viewed this as a, like a problem with the IT Learn website, while others viewed it as a factor that Karthik somehow didn't want to give us access. So these are the two different viewpoints that you're going to see in our test cases, and hence the failed test cases may vary based on the browsers executed. So as you can see here, these were executed by Bhavna, and she considered that as a major factor of not being executed as a fail aspect. So that's why her test cases are fail. So scrolling down, there are some not relevant test cases for us. Initially we had written hoping that this functionality will be provided for us, in the sense that some of our like our test data email accounts will be suspended by the admin, but we did not receive any such messages. So these suspension of the membership could not be executed. Downloading of the files, even though there was a, I don't remember right now, there was a download option or not, but downloading of the files was also not possible. And one of the major things we observed in the member section is expiring of the membership. So when we were actually testing on the IT eLearn website that Karthik has provided for 2 days, his main intention was to see whether the membership was automatically expired after like 2 days. But we observed that we tested with all the, as you can see, we have our test data right here. With all the test data that we came up with, and we executed these test cases, and we could still access the content even after, say, 48 hours hence, when our membership was supposed to expire. So this is a rough walkthrough of our test case documents for members module. Our next team presenter was supposed to be Anuradha, and she could not make it today. So Sumalata is going to present on her behalf the GUI test cases. Thank you.
So hi everyone, this is Sumalata again, and today I am presenting the test scenario and test case document for GUI testing on behalf of Anuradha. So she could not make it today due to a family emergency. So I am presenting her modules. So as Karthik has not given any specific requirements for GUI testing, so our test lead Manoj Yadav, like he provided us some of the GUI checklist. So based on the checklist, we came up with these test scenarios and test cases. And the test scenario for GUI testing is similar. The template we followed is similar to all the other modules, like, and and the naming convention for the test scenario is TS001 underscore UI, that is user interface. And we have divided this GUI testing into 7 sections. The first section is the color section, the GUI colors, where we described like how the color of the website should be. Like for example, the page background color and the hyperlinks color. So we wrote test scripts based on the UI checklist provided by our team lead. And the next scenario is the GUI content. Here we have, like, we came up with some of the checklists, like the font should be same, and the text, the prompted messages should be spelled correctly. So these are some of the test scripts for the GUI content. And the next scenario is the GUI graphics. Here we have described all the graphics section, like the images and the banners and the video alignment. We have mentioned all the scripts associated to the graphics in the GUI graphics. And the next test scenario is the GUI instruction. Here we have tested the instructions, like the error messages or the micro help test tool. All those work properly, and all those like spell correctly. And the next scenario is the GUI navigation. Here we came up with some of the test scripts, like the tab order specified on the screen should go in a sequence from top left to bottom right. And we have included, like there should be a home page link on every page, so that we can navigate back and through to the home page from other pages. And the next scenario is the GUI usability. And these are some of the test scripts we came up with. Like the site should be, the site should look good look and feel, and it should run without any frustration. And we have came up with some of the, does the site have a consistent, clearly recognizable look and feel? So this is the test scenario for the GUI testing. And now I will present the test cases for the GUI. So the same template we followed for the test cases for GUI also. So for the test, for the GUI colors, we have about 6 test cases. Like we have 6 test cases, and the one I can explain is that the fields that prompt a message box must have a right color on all pages of IT eLearn website. This we are testing, like when an error message or any message which is prompted, like should have a consistent color. So this test case is a pass test case. And in the same way, we have for content section, we have about 10 test cases, and out of which we found one defect. Here the verify the text of the web page is displayed properly. So in here we found, when we log in and when we see the membership level on the welcome page, like the test one, the text is seem to be striked off. So we felt that this is a defect, and we gave a severity of low priority, because this will not affect the performance of the IT eLearn website. So, and the next test case is for the GUI graphics. For GUI graphics, we came up with 17 test cases, and we found two defects in the graphics part. And the first defect is the verify the course video alignment. Here, as Karthik has mentioned, that the video should be aligned properly, containing 4 videos per row. But when we look into the homepage, we found that the videos listed in chapter 2 are aligned closely compared to the videos aligned in the chapter 1. So we treated this as fail and with priority low. And the next test case is the like Karthik has mentioned that there should be like 2 banners when we are playing a video, but when we are playing like a free video, we found only one banner present on the YouTube and the JW player. So we treated this as a defect with low priority. And then this is the test case section for the UI instructions. And we have 4 UI instructions which are all pass. And this is the test case section for the navigation part. So here we have mentioned all the test cases, like how there should be a presence of home page on every page, but here some of us, we treated the home page link as the IT eLearn logo. So some of us passed this test case, but some of our team members felt that there should be a home page link, like separate link. So this is also some sort of differences between the other team members. And the last section is the usability section, where we wrote about 14 test cases. And here all the test cases are passed in Internet Explorer, but when some of our team members tested this on Firefox, they found that the loading time of the web page is taking too much of time, so they treated that test case as failed. But in some browsers, the loading time is good. So, and again, these GUI test cases are just we assumed on the basis of the checklist provided by Manoj Yadav, our team lead. So this is with the GUI test cases. And now Niranjana will present with the defect summary report and requirement traceability matrix. Thank you.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Niranjana Venkatramanan, and I'll be showing you the defect summary report and the requirement traceability matrix document on behalf of Team Venus. But before that, I think you all can hear me, right? Just checking. Okay, thank you. So before I present the documents, I would like to even show you the Jira, because we use this to as tracking our bugs while testing, and we created a project called Venus_IT eLearn, under which we created the issue as bug and logged all our defects in it. And as you can see, the problem with this was we actually got only 25 defects in our testing. But since we were like a group, we distributed ourselves like a group of 4, and we tested on different browsers like Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Safari, and Firefox. We got a lot of duplicate bugs. So in order to get rid of this, after we are done with our testing, we created another project called as final_Venus_IT eLearn, and under that we created only those real bugs, like without any duplicates. So as you can see, this is the bugs that were created, and from this we took out our Excel sheet and sent it out to Karthik for him to take a look, and this is what came out from the Jira Excel. As you can see, this is all the this is all automatically created to Jira, and we have also attached a screenshot. And if you can click on that, you can see where the bug was actually created. We have to log in for that. Let me see. So you can see the screenshot where the bug was found. But apart from that, we have also created the defect summary report, and you could ask why we did that. It was just that we had taken a decision with our QA lead that we would also have a defect summary report along with Jira, because that would give us a good practice. And this is what we came up with. This is the template for the defect summary report. This is the header section. You can see the author is Team Venus, and it's reviewed by Manoj Yadav. It was created on March 17th, and these are all the columns that we have come up with. Let me just freeze the heading. Yeah. So this is the defect ID. There's a test case number where the defect was found, the author, and then there's the open date when we found the defect. The close date is empty because it will only be filled once the defect has been accepted by the developer, and if he has done any changes, and after we retest it, if it passes, then we can close it. And if it's not accepted, then we have to close it anyway. Then this is the problem area where the defect was found, and then this is the defect. Is it a defect or an enhancement? But in our case, all these are a defect. And this is the problem description where like exactly what the problem is. And as we have tested in 4 browsers, that is IE, Firefox, Safari, and Google Chrome, not all defects were found in all the browsers. Some defects were found in all 4 browsers, some were found only in 3, some in 2, some in 1. And what type of defect? Is it a functional non-member module, or is it a function member module, or is it a functional user registration module, or is it a GUI defect? That's the defect type here. Then who detected it? In our case, it's Team Venus, and how it was detected? It was detected by testing. And if it's assigned to, we have assigned it to a developer. We don't know who is it, so we just wrote it as developer. And priority depends on is it high, medium, low. And status right now is open, and status description is assigned to the developer. And here we are putting the reproducibility steps so that a developer can go according to the steps and go to the defect where we found it easily. And we fill it once it's fixed, like who fixes it, then we can write who has fixed it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one defect, and as you can see, we have we have divided the defect summary report according to the module. Like the first one is functional non-member module, and I will take one defect from each module and I'll walk through it. So the functional non-member module, I'm going to walk through D003, and the defect was found in test case number TC_F_NM_022. The author is Team Venus and was found on March 15, 2013. And the problem area is the free events that is listed in the free links drop-down list. And the description is that when a guest or non-member visits ITELM website and he clicks on the free events link, and there's a free event list that comes up. And there are 2 free events that you can see there. That is how to crank your resume and how to crack your interview. But you click on any of those, it takes you to the same page. So this defect was found on all the 4 browsers that we tested on. And this is a functional non-member module defect, and found by Team Venus during testing and assigned a developer. As you can see, the priority is like medium. It's not very high. And even the severity is not very high. It's medium. It's open right now, and it's assigned to the developer. And this is how we got the steps, how we got to that defect. You enter the URL itelm.com, you navigate to the home page, and you see the free events link. You click on it, and you will see the drop-down list with the 2 links, that is the free links, that is how to crank your resume and how to crack your interview. And if you click on any of those, it will take you to the same page. Now let us go to the functional user registration module. Under that, I will cover D0010. And the test case where the defect was found is TC_F_UR_018. Again, the author is Team Venus, found on March 15th. And the problem area is the user registration form. And the description is that the non-member fills out the user registration form and he enters the password with a space. And you can clearly say that it says that the password should not have space. And when we hit submit, the form is accepted without any error message coming up saying that password should not have any space. And this defect was also found in all 4 browsers that we tested on. And you can see the defect type, this is module that is found by Team Venus, and it was found while testing, and it's assigned to developer, and this priority is really very high because it was clearly mentioned that the password should not have any space with it, and it accepted it. So it is really very high priority, and it's critical for the developer to fix it. And this is how we got the defect. This is the steps. If you follow, we'll get the developer can easily go to the defect. He opens ITELN website. He navigates to the registration form, enters the username, first name, last name, enters a valid email ID, but enters the password with a space, and he clicks the submit button. You can see that the registration is completed, and there is no error message coming up. Yeah. So now let me go to the next module, that is member module. Under member module, let me take D0016. And this defect was found in test case number TC_F_M_047, again found by Team Venus on March 15th. And the problem area is the expired member. As it was explained before, when Aparna went through the test case document for member module, when a member tries to log in after his membership is expired, he still gets access to it. And this was also found on all 4 browsers. And again, this is a very high priority because Karthik wanted to see whether a member can access his membership like area after the membership has expired, and we could still do that with the 2-day link. And these are the steps that the developer can perform to reach to that defect. He opens the ITELN website and uses the username and password that we got for the 2-day link. And when he clicks on the login button, he can view the member area. So this covers the member module. Now let's go to the GUI content. In that, we found only one defect, that is D0018, and it was found in test case number TC_UI_content_010, again found by Team Venus on March 15th. And the problem area is that the text has to be clearly visible. But if you see the membership display area section where the membership is displayed, there is a line above the membership display. So the text is not clearly visible. And this was found again in all 4 browsers. And this priority is not very high, it's medium. So, and this is how you will, the developer will reach the defect. He opens the ITELN website, he scrolls down the home page, and he looks at the membership display section in the middle of the page on the right side, and there you can see where the membership level is displayed. The text has a line over it, and so it is not clearly visible. Let us go to the next module, that is GUI graphics. Here, let's go to D0019. And the test case where the defect was found is TC_UI_graphics_011. Again, it's found by Team Venus on 3/15/2013. And the problem area is the course video alignment. And the description is that the course videos have not been properly aligned, and the space between them is not it's not equal. It's you can see that it's not aligned properly. And this was again found in all the 4 browsers. And again, this is not a very high severity, it's medium, and this is how the developer can see uses like duplicated steps and go to the defect. That is, he opens the ITELN browser, he enters the URL, and on the home page itself, he can see that the video member video number 1 and the member video number 2 and the member video number 3, they are not aligned properly. The space is not equal between them. Now let us go to the next module, that is GUI navigation, and let us look at D0021, and the defect was found in test case number TC_UI_navigation_005, again found by Team Venus on March 15th. And the problem area is the tab order, and you can the description is that the tab order specified should go from the top left to the bottom right in all pages in IT-ELN website. But if you see, there was no tab order found in any of the pages. But this defect was found only in Firefox browser, not in any other browser that we tested on. And again, this is not a very high priority, it's medium. And this is how the steps you can reproduce to reach the defect. Is open the browser, enter the URL, and the tab order should be from the top left to the bottom right. But once the page is done, the tab order control should go to the first item in the top left in the same page. But as you can see, there was no tab order found in any of the IT-ELN web page. So the next module is GUI usability, and in that we found only one defect, and it was found in the test case number TC_UI_usability_006, and again found by Team Venus on March 15th. And the problem is, like, the system, like the user should run the system, found in the user running the system. And the problem description is that a typical user should be able to run the system without any frustration, but this does not happen. But again, this was found only in Firefox browser, not in any other browser. And again, this is the priority given here is high because it should not happen to anyone, because when you are accessing a website, it has to be smooth and it has to load fast, so that a user feels like coming back to the website and using it more and more. So the steps that we use are the user opens the browser, he enters the URL, he navigates to each page, and the user actually it has to happen is the user has to successfully navigate to each page, and the content should display fast. But what happens is when the user clicks on any page, the links take longer to load, approximately 7 to 10 seconds. So that is frustrating sometimes. So this ends my defect summary report. Now let me go to the requirement traceability matrix document. The requirement traceability document again has a header section. Author is Team Venus. It's reviewed by Manoj Yadav and was created on March 19th, 2013. These are the columns. There is a functional requirement specification, use case number, the test plan, the test scenario number, the test case number, and defect ID. Again, the requirement traceability matrix has been divided into modules. The first module is the functional non-member module. I will take an example in this module. Like if you see the FRS_non-member_Venus_1.0 is linked to the use case _IT-ELEARN_non-member_1, which is in turn linked to the test plan number TP_IT-ELEARN_Venus_V1.0, which is linked to test scenario number TS001_guest_1, and to that the test case number TC_F_NM_001 is linked. But as you can see that this FRS_NM_Venus_1 has more than 2 scenarios, and the TS001_guest_2 has got more than 2 test case linked to it. So a test scenario can have more than 1 test case linked to it. So if you see that every module has got a similar kind of link. Like every FRS has been linked to the use case, to the test plan, to the test scenario, to the test case, and also wherever the defect ID has been found has been linked to the test case. And here again, we have, as I said before, we are divided into modules. This is the functional user registration module. This is the functional member module. This is the GUI colors module. As you can see in the GUI, we have no link to the use case document. We have linked the test case to the test scenario to the test plan directly to the FRS document. So there is no use case document linked to the GUI. And then next to the GUI content module, the GUI graphics module, the GUI instructions module, This is GUI navigation module, and this is GUI usability module. So this is the end of all the documents that Team Venus has, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank Karthik on behalf of Team Venus for providing us with this opportunity. It was immensely useful, educative project for all of us. And also would like to offer our sincere thanks to Manoj Yadav, who has served as our team lead. He has guided us through the project in its most critical stages, and we are very thankful to him for that. And with that, I would like to conclude Team Venus presentation. Thank you once again.